Most leaders talk about employee retention as if it were mainly a recruiting problem, a pay problem, or a question of attitude. W. Edwards Deming pushes us toward a harder question. What if people leave because the system makes good work too hard and honest work too risky? If that is true, retention is not a side issue. It is a direct signal about the quality of management and about whether leadership is making good work possible. In Deming's view, people do not come to work empty. They arrive with curiosity, dignity, and a desire to do work they can respect. But management systems can steadily wear those qualities down. Fear, ranking, unstable priorities, and barriers that make the job harder than it should be do more than frustrate performance. They change the psychology of work. That matters because when people no longer feel safe or able to take pride in what they do, they begin to protect themselves. They say less. They help less. Eventually, many of them leave. The real question is not how to convince people to stay. The question is, what kind of management makes staying feel worthwhile? Lena ran a growing service company with about 30 employees. Over the last year, 3 experienced people had left. 2 newer hires were already interviewing elsewhere. Customers were starting to notice uneven service, and Lena had come to a simple conclusion: people were less committed than they used to be. So she tightened expectations, offered incentives. For a week or 2, things looked sharper. Then the same problems returned. Work was rushed, mistakes repeated. One person quit with almost no warning. Then Marcus, a team lead who rarely complained, asked for a private conversation.
People aren't leaving because they don't care. They're leaving because it's getting harder to do a good job, and harder to say that out loud.
Lena pushed back. She pointed to the pay increase and retention bonus she had added.
We made changes. We listened. I can't just lower the standard because people feel pressure.
This isn't about lowering the standard. It's about what the work feels like now. Priorities change in the middle of the day. One manager says speed matters most. Another says not to miss a single detail. Suggestions disappear. And when the numbers look bad, people start protecting themselves.
That conversation stayed with her. Lena started to see the pattern more clearly. Questions were delayed until problems became urgent. Small defects were fixed quietly instead of discussed. People were being pushed into competition with each other instead of helping each other. She remembered a line from Deming: "No one can put in his best performance unless he feels secure." That changed the way she looked at turnover. The resignations were not random. They were clues about the system people were working inside. At the next staff meeting, she stopped talking about commitment and said something different.
If the work is getting in your way, I need to know. If our management methods are making it harder to serve customers well, that's on us to fix.
Fix the handoffs first. That's where the day starts going wrong.
Lena did. She stopped posting individual comparisons that had quietly turned into rankings. She simplified priorities so people were not being pulled in opposite directions. She required supervisors to bring forward recurring barriers and respond to them visibly. The room did not open up immediately, but people kept naming the same obstacles: missing information at handoff, last-minute changes, and reviews that felt more like judgment than help. Deming put one part of the problem bluntly: evaluation of performance nourishes fear. Once Lena could see the pattern, she stopped treating turnover like a mystery. She treated it like evidence. Within a few months, fewer people were talking about leaving. Problems reached supervisors earlier. Rework began to drop. Customers noticed steadier service, not because anyone gave a better speech about commitment, but because the work was becoming easier to do well. And in a local market full of lookalike competitors, that kind of reliability was starting to become hard to copy. If retention is weak, start by resisting the easiest explanation. It is easy to assume people are less committed, less resilient, or simply expecting too much. That explanation protects management from studying its own role. Deming asks for more discipline than that. Look at retention as a system and psychology measure. When capable people leave, or when they stay quiet before they leave, ask what conditions are teaching them that good work is hard and candor is unsafe. Study the pattern over time. Where do people run into conflicting aims, recurring frustration, judgment-heavy reviews, or unanswered suggestions? Those conditions matter because they shape behavior long before they show up in a resignation. Then examine what your management methods are rewarding. If people are being compared, ranked, or blamed for outcomes shaped by the system, coworkers are pushed into competition with one another. Self-protection becomes rational. Cooperation weakens. Information quality drops. Fear enters the work. The leadership task is not to motivate people with slogans. It is to protect intrinsic motivation by clarifying aim, removing barriers, and helping people experience dignity in their work. When employees can see that management is trying to improve the process, trust grows. Over time, that trust strengthens continuity, service, and reputation in ways competitors often struggle to imitate. Employee retention looks different when you see it through Deming's psychology. It is not just a question of who stayed and who left. It is a question of whether management created the conditions for pride, honesty, and good work. When leaders remove fear and improve the system people work in, they do more than reduce turnover. They make better performance possible. And when people begin to feel respected, useful, and safe again, hope returns to the work. People are more likely to stay where the system helps them do work they can be proud of, and where better leadership gives them reason to believe tomorrow can be better than today.